Hello class, this is a video tutorial on compound areas. In this video, we'll be tackling what looks to be a rather simple problem, but you'll see as this video goes on, this one is actually rather tricky. So let's get to it. So we have a function f of x stated that it is tangential, meaning it's a tangent to g of x at x equals 1. Calculate the area enclosed by f of x, g of x, and the x-axis. So first, we need to try and figure out which area that we are actually trying to calculate. And it's actually this area here. Now, I know how I've drawn it here. It's going through, but it's really supposed to just touch the x-axis here. So we are calculating this red area inside, like this. Now, let's actually draw in what it says here. It is a tangent at x equals 1. So that means at this point that they are touching, that is the x value of 1. And so we actually just, if we can actually just figure out what we are trying to calculate and what integral we are working with, we could actually solve, air quotes, solve this problem, but you'll see that we need more information as we go on. So that area that we're looking for is actually easily calculated as the integral from, let's call this point here, let's call that point A. We don't know what it is actually. So if we go from A to 1 of f of x dx. So let's take a look at what that's calculating. So from a to 1 of f of x, that's the curve. We are calculating this area. So what I'm highlighting in red is everything here. We can now subtract the integral from, and let's now call this point here point B, from b to 1 of g of x dx. And if you take a look, this area is actually this triangle bit here. So let's use some color here. So if we calculate all of this and we subtract this, so we're subtracting, what we are left with is this area here in green, which is what we are looking for. Okay, so this effectively answers our problem, but I'll give you a moment to actually analyze the difficulty in this. Remember, we said from A to 1, firstly, what is A? And then from B to 1, what is B? And if you take a closer look at the question, we actually don't know what g of x is as a function. We know it's a line, but we actually aren't given what g of x is. So let's actually break this down. We need to find the value of a. Well, a, I hope you can see f of a must equal 0, because that is an x-intercept. So if we let this equals 0, we can solve for a. So this can become 2a minus 1 to the power of 4 equals 0. Taking the fourth root, we get 2a minus 1 equals 0. 2a equals 1. So a equals half. Now let's take a look at b. We know that g of b must equal 0, but like I stated earlier, we don't even know what the function g is. So that is another problem we need to solve. Take a look. We know, I'll write it down here, g of x must equal mx plus c. It must be a line. We can calculate m because m is the gradient of the function f at x equals 1. And that's because it is tangential, meaning it's a tangent to g of x. So we actually need to find f prime of x first. So taking the derivative of f using chain rule, 4 outside of 2x minus 1 to the power of 3 times the derivative of the inside, we get 8, 2x minus 1 cubed. From here we can find the gradient of m. F prime of 1 equals our gradient. So we can calculate that now. 8 times 2 times 1 minus 1 cubed. And I hope you can see that's simply going to be 8. We actually now also need to know what the y value is at that point. So 1 comma. So we can find f of 1. Substituting 1 into here, that's going to be 2 times 1 minus 1 to the power of 4. I hope you can see that that's actually 1 as well. So that's going to be the point 1, 1. Now that we have this, we can find g of x using the the point gradient formula, So y minus y1 equals m, which is 8, my x minus x1. Solving for this, we're going to get 8x minus 8. Adding 1 to the other side from here, get y equals 8x minus 7. B can now be solved for because b is the x-intercept of this. So 8x minus 7 equals 0. 8x equals 7. X equals 7 on 8. And then from here, we can finalize our area simply as what we had here. But now we can actually use numbers to solve it. So now the integral from a, and we saw that a was a half. So from 0.5 to 1 of f of x, where f of x is 2x minus 1 to the power of 4 dx, from which we subtract b. We saw b was 7 on 8 to 1 of g of x, where g of x was this one here, so 8x minus 7 dx. And now that we have this, we can finally solve our actual area. So integrating this, we'll learn that the integral of this later, using the reverse chain rule, is simply integrating the outside function. So it's going to be to the power of 5 with 1/5 times the dividing by the derivative of the inside here. So the derivative of this is 1/2. And the inside will remain the same. From half to 1 minus, and this one we can integrate as per usual. Increase the power by 1, divide by the new power. Constants just simply get the variable. And then we're practically done. So this becomes 1/10. Substituting in 5 here. Oh, sorry, not 5. 1 here. 1 is 2 minus 1 to the power of 5. So 1 minus. Substituting half into here. 2 times half is 1. Minus 1 is 0. To the power of 5, that's going to be 0. So just color coding my substitutions. That's the first set. Minus. Substituting in 1 here, and not going to take my chances this time. 4 times 1 squared minus 7 times 1. This gives me negative 3 minus, and I'll color code that one as well, minus, and this next one, substituting 7 on 8. Oops. 7 on 8. 7 on 8. This gives me negative 49 on 16. And again, color coding that in so we don't get confused as to which I'm doing. And then calculating everything still the same. 1/10 minus, again, not taking any chances on this one, so negative 3 minus 49 on 16. This gives me positive 0.1 or 1/16. So 1/10 minus 1/16. 1/16 gives me 3/80. 3/80 units squared, and that is our final answer there. And so I hope that's given you an insight into these compound areas, and I hope you've seen how difficult these can become, and hope to see you in the next video. Best of luck.